Since I couldn't get a video out this week for you guys because of my retcon panel, I figured I'd do the retcon presentation for you because I know a lot of you are wanting to be YouTubers as well. So, hacks to make your videos better. Stuff that I've learned being a YouTuber so far. Hack number 1 to make your videos better is to not introduce yourself. Whenever you see a Mr. Beast video, he's not like, hey everybody, it's Mr. Beast, welcome back to a Mr. Beast video. Today we're doing blah blah blah. You've got the viewer in there. There's no time for that, okay? Just get into what it is that you're doing in the video. They've already clicked on your thumbnail and your title. You've already got them in the video. Don't waste their time with anything other than paying off whatever that thumbnail and title was for. If you're worried about them finding you, I mean, if they're on YouTube, they probably know how to work YouTube and can go down to your channel and find you or look in their history. Chances are, if they can't find you, then they're probably either too young or too old to be on YouTube. So, hack number 1 to make your videos better, don't bother introducing yourself. Just get on with the content. Hack number 2 to make your videos better is to pay off in 3 seconds. So, whatever it is that you show in the title and thumbnail, you need to make sure within 3 seconds you're cutting to some other type of B-roll footage or some sort of example of what it is that you're gonna do in the video. For instance, if you did, like, we're gonna get the weirdest inventions in Rec Room, right? You would start off with just say, you wouldn't do an intro, number 1, don't say your name or whatever. Okay, but then you would get into, today we're gonna find the weirdest invention in Rec Room, and probably about today we're gonna find, you know, about like the 3rd, 4th, 5th word. You want to cut to some other footage of you like scrolling through the invention page, or you like buying. You obviously you don't want to do the last one, like the finale one, right? You don't want to give that away, but you definitely want to give them some sort of payoff to like what it is you're doing in the video. And then normally on tutorial videos, what I do, you know, I'll say, today I'm gonna show you how to make something follow you in Rec Room, and usually today I'll show you how. Probably about the time I say how, I'm gonna go ahead and fade in some B-roll footage of the thing chasing you or whatever the final product is. Hack number 3 to make your videos better is to use frictionless CTAs. So if you don't know what a CTA is, it's a call to action. Whenever you ask the viewer to like, subscribe, follow you, go to the merch store, use code, whatever it is that you're asking them to do, that's a call to action. What do I mean by frictionless? So if we go over here to this graph, this is a graph showing the viewers that I have on just a typical live stream, right? Can you guess what's happening every time you see an arrow there and you see a dip in viewers? That's me asking people to like and subscribe. So it seems though there's a trend that every time on a live stream or on a video, if you say like and subscribe, some people are that's somehow gonna turn them off and make them not want to be in the video or not want to watch or be watching your video anymore. So we need to find a way to do a call to action without interrupting the content or making the call to action the content itself. So what do I mean by frictionless CTA? Well, imagine, you know, you see those green screen videos of the little animated like subscribe button popping up or a little animated like button like popping up. That's going to be, you know, your frictionless CTA. You pop that up in the video and it doesn't really interrupt the content, but it still reminds the viewer to like or subscribe or do whatever. Now, if you do that, if you use the frictionless one, you're gonna want to put it in somewhere in early in the video, like within the first like 2 minutes or at least the first half of the video. My drift is killing me. Okay. But you also, not only that, you also want to put it in after you provide some sort of value for the viewer. So, you know, if it's like a funny video, as soon as something, you know, kind of funny happens at the beginning, or rather, as soon as something kind of funny happens, then you want to put in the subscribe. Or for tutorial videos, you know, let's say there was a video where I was doing the pivot points and I would say, oh, you know, this is your pivot point. If you can't find your pivot point, then you're going to go into your maker pen and hit this button and do that. After I told you that little kind of factoid, after I gave you some value, that's when I'm going to ask you to subscribe or like or whatever. Make sure that you are giving something before you're asking for something back, right? Now, the other type that I said was the one where you make it the content. Over here, I've got one of the best performing call to actions that I've had on my videos. And basically what it is, you know, I gave some value And then after I gave the value, I said, I had this little animation pop up that was hairy man legs running around being chased by Freddy Fazbear, right? And I said, like and subscribe, or Freddy's gonna eat hairy man legs. Like I said, it's still, you know, it's kind of a funny little thing. It's part of the content, so it doesn't really interrupt. But this, like I said, this is one of the most powerful ones that I've ever had, like, work and make people subscribe. So you just want to have some sort of clever or funny thing that doesn't really interrupt the content, becomes content, or again, is completely frictionless. So hack number 3, use a somewhat frictionless CTA. Hack number 4 is to not use any bad words. Now I know it's Rec Room, right? It's supposed to be family friendly, so you don't use bad words because of like the main audience who's here, right? And then of course also we have monetization, right? Advertisers and whatnot, they want you to be family friendly. But this drift is horrible. But the main reason that I found, or the main evidence to me that says you shouldn't use bad words, is this graph up here. So this is a retention graph from one of my shorts compilation videos. So I just took a bunch of TikToks that did well, and I put them all in a compilation, and I have them all going. Well, obviously, you know, some TikToks have curse words, right? So this is a retention graph from one of those. And at both of those points where you see the red arrows, that is where there's some sort of cuss word. I think the first one is like the B word, and the second one's like the F word, whatever. There's some sort of cuss word happening, okay? And as soon as I say it, there's a drop in retention. People are leaving the video, which means, even though I know that cursing can be funny for videos, sentence enhancers, right? But I know there's a subset of people who are gonna leave when I use some kind of cuss word. And we wanna retain as many viewers as possible, so try not to cuss. If you must cuss, you want to put it somewhere late in the video. The earlier in the video, the easier it is to get flagged or have some sort of issue. At the end of the video, I mean, it's not guaranteed to get through or whatever, but if you can put it at the end of the video, it's the best place to put it. Hack number 5 is to remove any silence. So you're not allowed to have any silence in your video whatsoever. If you get done saying a line, you need to go ahead and move on to the next line as soon as possible. If every second that you're there being quiet is giving the viewer a second to look over here, look at the recommended videos, look at all these, look at TikTok, do whatever. So you cannot have any silence in your videos. Now there's a bit of an exception for, not really an exception, but for like dramatic scenes, like if you're doing something dramatic, or if you want, you know, the silence to kind of be funny. But there's a risk, like when you do that. You can do that and it can be effective and funny and all that, but you're gonna lose people. Like whenever there's silence, people are gonna leave. So just know that even the joke better be worth it, or the thing better be worth it, because people are gonna leave during the silence. What I typically do on my video editor is I'll go to like where it's, you know, 20 decibels. I'll go to the end of my line, whatever line it is, and I'll go to it hits negative 20 decibels, and then I'll go like 7 frames behind that. After that's where I'll cut it, and then I'll go to my next line, whatever it is, go to the very beginning of it where it's at like negative 20 decibels, and then I'll go like 7 frames forward, cut that, and put those two together. You want to minimize the silence as much as you can. On old tutorial videos before I used to do this, I would always say like, oh, we need an if chip, and then I would open up the Maker Pen and go and find the if chip and everything, and it would just be quiet the entire time. So now what I do is I'll say we need an if chip, and I'll show at the same time, which leads on to the next hack, which is show and don't tell. So I have a couple of mistakes that I've made that I want to use to illustrate hack number 6, which is show and don't tell. So number 1 is this video down here about anxiety. I did a video that was like, it was like 2 years ago. I just had anxiety for the first time ever because I'd never experienced it, right? So I went on YouTube and I made a video, you know, just kind of saying, hey, this is my experience, and I told the story of me getting anxiety and going to the doctor and all that stuff. But the big misstep here was that I just sat there. It was just a camera. It was just like this. It was me just talking to the camera. I just told you about it. I didn't show you. I could have made like a little doctor set. I could have had like a little me talk to the doctor and have me and like a fake version of my girlfriend talking, and I could have shown you, not just told you. So really it should be show and tell at the same time. Make sure that you're showing and telling at the same time. There's another mistake I made on a recent video about how to make something follow you, which I know there's like 20 of them, right? But this one, there's a specific part where I say you gotta hook it up this way. If you don't hook it up this way, then it's gonna be all crooked when it follows you. And I remember I was editing it, and I was just sitting there looking at it, and I was like, man, I'm just kind of like staring at circuits, or I'm just kind of talking at the camera. And that, I should have shown you that. I should have went through and made it incorrectly and showed like a weird wonky monster chasing me sideways. That would have been a much better part of that video than me just saying, oh yeah, hook it up right or it's going to be wrong, right? I could have shown you how it would have been wrong instead of just telling you about it. So hack number 6 is show don't tell, or rather show and tell. Hack number 7 we have is never end your video. So you never ever want to use words like lastly, finally, this is the last one, we're almost finished. You never want to say words that are going to indicate that it's the end of your video. If you do that, the second that you indicate that the video is going to be ending or it's about to be ending, the retention's going to drop off. That's just, it's going to happen. So it's almost like people are triggered when they hear the word to leave. So just try your best not to use words like we're almost done or the last step or finally. Just do not use those words. So hack number 7, ideally, just your viewer should never know that the video is going to end. I mean, unless it's like really obvious, but regardless, you need to end it so that they don't know that it's ending. You need to jump straight into the end screen. Now, I do have some bonus things here. These don't necessarily make your videos better, but they will do good things for your channel and your process of making videos in general. So, maximize your end screen. So, at the end of your video, you have 20 seconds that you can do an end screen and point viewers in another direction of what other one of your videos that you should watch. This is super powerful. If you can get this down at the end of your videos, if you can end your, suddenly end your video, right? Or give them, what they came for, but then end your video and just say, hey, if you enjoyed, for instance, if you're doing a video where you make houses in Rec Room, you can be like, oh, you enjoyed the video where we made houses? Click on this video here where we made a mansion in Rec Room, right? Because that person watching the house video may want to watch the mansion video. Or when I do tutorials, right, I can say, oh, in this video we made it follow one person. Click this video here to expand it and make it follow more than one person, right? If you can get a chain of like 2 or 3 of those videos going where somebody watches one after another, then YouTube is going to love you because you've done YouTube's job for it. And they'll recommend your video, and once somebody gets in one, they go to the other one, and it gives a larger session time, which again, YouTube loves. So if you can maximize your end screen, point your viewer to the next video that you think they're gonna want to watch based on what it was that they're just watching, this is very powerful. Script everything. So whenever you have an idea for a video or whatever it is, make sure to write down as much as you can. You want to write down the script, you want to write down what camera angles you want, what props you need, what characters you need, like just everything that you can possibly write down that will kind of, if you can make the decisions of what you need to do in Rec Room before you get in Rec Room, it's going to be way easier to shoot everything, make sure you have everything, and it's going to get done faster. Now, also this helps with editing because, for instance, in my videos where I'll do like, I have a certain line that I say and I did like 10 takes of it, but I know that the last take was the best take of all of them. Well, when I'm editing, I don't even have to bother with watching take 1 through 9. I can completely skip that and just go to 10 and cut it out and use that in the video. That was my Retcon presentation. What'd you think? Did it have some good tips? Did it help you out? Now the question is, of all my videos, which ones would you like to watch after this one? I'm gonna go with one of these two. Take your pick. Bye.